Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something most people overlook when it comes to love and maturity. When a man is serious about an older woman, he doesn't approach her with childish games or temporary thrills. He steps into that connection with intention. He understands she's lived long enough to see through empty words, so his actions become his introduction and his questions become his truth. A man who is ready for a woman with wisdom, depth, and emotional richness isn't afraid to ask what matters, because he cares about building something that lasts beyond attraction or excitement. A serious man seeks clarity and commitment when pursuing an older woman because he understands she has reached a stage in life where games, confusion, and uncertainty hold no value. He knows she has already walked through seasons of growth, learned from heartbreak, and built stability with her own strength. He sees her not as someone to impress temporarily, but someone he wants to build something meaningful with. This kind of man doesn't come in with mixed signals or disappearing acts. He comes with honesty. He comes with stability. He comes with questions that matter because he doesn't want to waste her time or his own. When he asks, he isn't just speaking, he's revealing what he stands for. He wants to know what she values, what she dreams of, what she refuses to compromise, because he is preparing himself to meet her where she is, not drag her into uncertainty. He will ask about her expectations, not because he is insecure, because he is planning to show up in the way she deserves. He is direct about what he wants, because men who are serious don't fear transparency. They fear losing a good woman by being unclear. He wants to know her relationship history, not to judge her, but to understand her scars, her strength, her healing. When she speaks, he listens without interrupting or belittling her experiences. He knows older women speak from survival, not fantasy, and he respects the lessons she carries. He asks where she sees herself emotionally, mentally, financially, and spiritually, because he hopes to stand beside her in every one of those spaces. His questions are not shallow, they are foundation deep. Serious man seeks clarity when he wants to build something lasting, and commitment when he is ready to give himself fully. He wants to know what she needs in love, trust, consistency, affection, honesty, so he can meet those needs with intention instead of assumption. He understands an older woman has already grown past surface-level relationships, so he rises to her level instead of trying to pull her down into immaturity. He shows commitment not through promises, but presence. He follows through. He remembers what she says. He notices what matters to her. His effort is not occasional. It is consistent, steady, reassuring. He asks because he wants to understand, and understanding is the fastest way to a woman's heart. He will not rush to say words like forever without showing actions that match them. Instead, he builds trust brick by brick, moment by moment. He wants clarity about her boundaries, her fears, her goals, because he plans to respect all three. He asks because he doesn't want misunderstandings. He asks because he is confident enough to communicate. He asks because he is prepared to stay. A serious man doesn't pursue an older woman for fun. He pursues her because he sees her worth, her power, her depth, and he desires a future where both can grow, support, and elevate one another with intention and unwavering commitment. He asks questions that reveal long-term intentions, values, and maturity, because a man who is truly serious about an older woman understands the weight of time, experience, and emotional investment. He knows she is not looking for a temporary thrill or a man who speaks beautifully but disappears when responsibility arrives. She wants stability. She wants sincerity. She wants someone who stands firm in both sunshine and storm. So he begins to unfold himself through meaningful conversation. He doesn't ask about surface-level things that fade with time. He asks about the foundation of who she is. He wants to know what she believes in, keeps her grounded, what she has learned from her past, and what she now holds as non-negotiable. His questions are doors that open into deeper connection because he is not curious about her temporarily. He wants to understand her for a lifetime. A mature man values alignment. He asks about her long-term vision, not just how she feels today. He wants to know where she's heading 5 years from now, what kind of peace she protects, what habits she is building, future she imagines for herself. This tells him whether their paths can merge without either losing themselves. He knows older women don't live in guesswork. They live in clarity, so he invites open dialogue. He isn't afraid to talk about commitment, effort, growth, and loyalty. Immature men avoid such conversations because they fear the responsibility that comes with love. But a serious man embraces it. He wants to know her values, not so he can judge, but so he can meet her at the level she deserves. If she values honesty, he speaks truth. If she values presence, he shows up consistently. If she values independence, he supports her ambition instead of shrinking under it. When a man is serious, his questions dig beneath the surface of personality and into the heart of identity. He asks what shaped her, what changed her, what strengthened her. He wants to understand her pain, not to pity her, but to protect her from experiencing it again. He is drawn to her maturity, wisdom, her emotional depth, and instead of being intimidated, he leans in. A man with genuine intentions does not treat an older woman like a chapter. He treats her like a story he wants to read fully, not skim. His maturity is shown in how he listens, how he responds, how he respects every boundary she places. He doesn't rush her healing or dismiss her caution. He understands she has earned her caution and grown from it. He asks questions that build trust instead of breaking it. He asks to learn, not to interrogate. He asks because love without understanding is shallow, and he wants depth. He wants partnership. He wants a future that feels steady. His questions are seeds of commitment, revealing not only what she holds in her heart, but who he intends to be in her life. Through every question, he is silently saying, I am here because I want this to last. He respects her experience, time, and emotional boundaries because he understands that an older woman has lived through enough seasons to know her worth and protect her peace. She has carried dreams, heartbreaks, sacrifices, lessons, and victories that shaped her into the woman she is today. A serious man recognizes this history and treats it with the kind of reverence a careless man never could. He doesn't rush her, demand her attention, expect her to bend to his pace. Instead, he matches her rhythm, honors her space, and appreciates that her boundaries aren't walls, they're wisdom. She isn't guarded because she's cold. She's selective because she knows the cost of giving her heart to the wrong hands. And a man who wants something real with her understands that her time is precious, her emotions valuable, and her experience is golden. He doesn't try to rewrite her story. He wants to learn it, respect it, and add to it with love and consistency. He respects her time by being present, not only physically but mentally and emotionally. He doesn't cancel plans casually, ignore messages, or treat commitment as a convenience. He knows she doesn't entertain inconsistency, so he shows up with reliability. When he speaks, he means it. When he plans, he follows through. He appreciates that she has responsibilities, a life of her own, routines she has built, maybe even a career or a family. He doesn't try to take her away from her world. He seeks to fit into it respectfully. He doesn't guilt her for being unavailable, nor does he expect her to drop everything for him. He knows love doesn't destroy balance, it supports it. A serious man wants to add to her life, not disrupt it. Emotional boundaries matter deeply to a woman who has lived enough to understand the importance of protecting her heart. A serious man doesn't punish her for being cautious, nor does he rush her into vulnerability. He lets trust unfold naturally. He listens when she speaks about past pain. He doesn't judge her for the scars she carries. He admires her ability to heal and grow. He knows she may take time to trust, so he meets that time with patience instead of pressure. A man truly invested in her won't push her into emotional exposure before she feels safe. He creates safety by being consistent, by communicating clearly, by showing her through action rather than promises that he plans to stay. She doesn't need grand gestures to be impressed. She needs honesty, effort, and emotional responsibility. He respects her experience by valuing her perspective. He doesn't talk over her or dismiss her opinions. He listens because he knows she speaks from wisdom, not assumption. He can learn from her, grow with her, and build something meaningful by appreciating what she already knows. A man who truly respects an older woman understands that maturity isn't a threat, it's a blessing. He loves her depth, admires her strength, and embraces the richness of her history because he isn't intimidated by it. Instead, he feels honored to walk beside a woman shaped by experience, guided by wisdom, and strong enough to love again with clarity and power. He wants to grow with her, not just date her casually, because a man who is truly serious about an older woman is not searching for temporary excitement or empty company. He is looking for partnership, growth, and progress that goes beyond romance and into purpose. He sees her not as a moment, but as a long-term investment of heart, time, and vision. When he chooses her future too. He wants to build something with her that evolves over time, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. He doesn't approach her with a mindset of, let's see where this goes. He comes with the mindset of, let's build something together. To him, love is growth, not comfort. He values her maturity and wants to match it with his own actions. He knows she has already seen the kind of relationships that go nowhere, so he chooses to be the man who gives direction, intention, and steady progress. He doesn't want to be just a chapter in her life. He wants to help write the next one. He talks about goals, dreams, responsibilities, and the future because he sees her as someone worth planning life with. He wants to grow in communication, trust, and commitment. He doesn't shy away from conversations about finances, long-term stability, family, or changes that lie ahead. Instead, he welcomes them because a man who wants to grow with her is thinking beyond today. He understands growth won't always be comfortable, but it will always be meaningful. He is willing to evolve, to improve himself, to learn how to love her better, not out of insecurity, but out of devotion. He wants her to experience not just love, but progress. A casual man dates to pass time, but a serious man dates to build time into something beautiful. He notices her strengths and admires how she carries herself. He learns from her. He lets her wisdom guide him instead of feeling threatened by it. He understands that growth is a two-way process. He wants to give and receive, teach and learn. He wants to become better because of her presence, and he wants her to become better because of his. He supports her ambitions, encourages her to evolve, and celebrates her progress. He becomes her peace, not her obstacle. When she rises, he rises with her, because he sees them as a team, two souls pushing forward rather than standing still. He doesn't run when challenges appear. Growth requires patience, and he is willing to hold on through uncomfortable conversations, misunderstandings, periods of adjustment. He doesn't leave when things get complicated. He leans in, communicates, and fights for connection. When life changes, he adapts instead of withdrawing. He wants to grow in emotional intelligence, not just affection. He is not afraid of effort. He is made for it. To him, love is a journey, not a destination. He wants to walk with her through every season, success and struggle, joy and quiet, comfort and change, Because a man who truly wants to grow with an older woman is not there to fill space. He is there to build a future where both can evolve, strengthen, and rise together with love that matures instead of fades. He shows consistency through effort, accountability, and presence because a woman who has lived long enough recognizes the difference between a man who tries for a moment and a man who stays for a season. Consistency is not about grand gestures. It is about the everyday things, the late-night conversations, the follow-through after promises, the small acts of consideration that say more than any speech ever could. When a man is serious about an older woman, he doesn't love her only when it's easy or convenient. He invests even on the days that require patience, understanding, sacrifice, or vulnerability. He doesn't run when conflict arises. He remains grounded, speaks calmly, listens carefully, and chooses clarity over chaos. Consistency is his language, accountability is his character, and presence is his love. He shows up not only when she needs him, but also when she simply deserves him. A man who is consistent understands that an older woman values actions far more than promises. She has heard words before, beautiful, convincing, poetic words, and many of them once came with disappointment attached. So he builds her trust not through speeches, but through repeated effort. He says he will call, and he calls. He says he will be there, and he arrives. He says he is committed, and he proves it through patience, respect, and reliability. He doesn't disappear when the feelings settle into reality. He stays to deepen connection, to understand her needs, to learn her heart. Older women don't need perfection. They need presence, honesty, and emotional responsibility. He knows she has healed from enough inconsistency. He becomes the stability she no longer chases but quietly deserves. Accountability is part of his character. He takes ownership of his words and behavior. If he hurts her unintentionally, he apologizes instead of defending. If misunderstandings arise, he seeks resolution, not victory. He communicates with maturity because he knows silence builds distance and assumptions build resentment. He doesn't blame her for past pain she didn't cause, nor does he make her pay for wounds he hasn't healed. He does his inner work. He grows. He learns. He reflects. A serious man knows that to love a strong woman, he must be strong enough to face his own flaws. Not perfect, but self-aware. Not flawless, but accountable. A man who avoids responsibility breaks relationships. A man who embraces it builds them. He chooses the latter. His presence is more than physical. It is emotional, mental, and spiritual. When she speaks, he hears her feelings even when she speaks with silence. When she struggles, he supports her without making her feel weak. When she succeeds, he celebrates her without feeling threatened. He is present in her growth, present in her healing, present in her joy. She never has to wonder if she matters. His consistency answers that without words. He communicates, checks in, prioritizes connection. He doesn't vanish when life gets busy or when his ego is challenged. He remains rooted, intentional, invested. Consistency builds security. Accountability builds respect. Presence builds love. A man who offers these four gifts doesn't just hold her hand. He holds her heart with steadiness instead of shaking it with uncertainty. Older women have learned to read patterns, not promises. They observe consistency more than charm. They value effort more than excuses. And a serious man understands that showing up once means nothing, but showing up continuously means everything. So he becomes that steady force. The man who returns every day, not out of obligation, but out of devotion. The man who chooses her, not once, but repeatedly. The man who loves not with bursts of intensity, but with waves of reliability. Because when a man is serious about an older woman, consistency isn't something he performs. It's something he lives. He asks about her dreams, stability, and future because when a man is serious about an older woman, he looks far beyond the present moment. He understands she has already built parts of her life with patience and experience, and he respects the foundation she stands on. A casual man may ask about her favorite color or what she likes to eat, but a man with intention asks what she envisions for her next chapter, what she is building toward, and how he can stand beside her while she continues to grow. He is drawn not just to who she is, but to who she desires to become. He wants to understand her purpose, her direction, her ambition. He wants clarity about the future because he hopes to be part of it, not as a guest, but as a partner. When he seeks her dreams, he is not asking to judge them, he is asking so he can support them. He wants to know what goals keep her motivated, what passions light her spirit, quiet longings she has carried for years but never spoke out loud. He knows older women have placed many dreams on hold for responsibilities, family, for survival. So when he asks, he is saying with his heart, I want to help you become everything you still hope to be. He is not intimidated by a woman with ambition. He is inspired by her. He understands that loving her means adding value, not taking it away. He doesn't fear her growth. He wants to grow with her. He is the kind of man who plans with her rather than planning around her. He doesn't clip her wings to keep her close. He strengthens them so they can fly together. He asks about stability because a future built on uncertainty has no strength. He wants to know if they share the same priorities: peace, loyalty, maturity, honesty. He seeks emotional stability, not emotional chaos. He has no interest in drama or temporary affection that fades when challenges appear. He wants a relationship that grows roots, deep, grounded, life-proof. He asks about her financial goals, not to control her, but to plan responsibly. He knows that partnership requires alignment in responsibility and vision.